Hello students, how are you? I think you all are fine, and as in previous section, I think in period 1 you all have watched the video, and in that video we had discussed about the different type of intermolecular spaces, intermolecular force, like dipole force, like dispersion force, London force. So we had talked about, and students, in class 11th you have to learn the gaseous state only. Some topics of solid state also, because the chapter is solid state is also there, but the you have to read widely about the gaseous state. So in this period, in this session, we just going through the gaseous state, and in this session we learn about the measurable property of gases, Boyle's law. As we all know that Boyle's is the father of, we can say, modern chemistry, and different graphs given by him and some solved problem. So students, I'm starting the chapter now, and again I am repeating that please beta utilize your maximum time. You have a lot of time these days, as we are going the situation of this coronavirus. So please utilize that. Be safe, be healthy, and be stay at home. So in this the topic is the first one, that is thermal energy. Now what is thermal energy? Now we can say the energy of the moving particles in an object, we can say, and it is the measure of the average kinetic energy of the particles of the matter, and it is responsible for movement of the particle, and this movement is called thermal motion. So as we know that in class 9 we have read about the kinetic energy, and the kinetic energy is due to that motion, and gases, the particles of gases have the maximum thermal energy, or we can say kinetic energy, to move. Intermolecular forces and thermal interaction. Now intermolecular forces tries to bind the particles, while thermal motion is about movement we are talking. The three states of matter are the result of balance between the intermolecular forces and thermal interaction. So by this increasing and decreasing of the you can see the slide that if the intermolecular interaction we are talking about, the gases they have the minimum, then liquid and the solid they have the maximum one, and in opposite of that, thermal energy, if we talk about that, gases have the maximum kinetic energy, as we know. So means thermal energy of the gas particle the maximum, then liquid, and then solid. Now we should know, before starting that Boyle's law and all the things, we should know the each characteristic of gaseous state, as you have already read in class 9. I know you are very you have the knowledge of that, but as we are just learning the topics again and again, so we should go through and we should revise them. So the characteristics, if we talk about in gases, we know the intermolecular forces are weakest, as we in first slide we have discussed. Gases are highly compressible. We can compress them. Why we can compress them? Because there is intermolecular space between them, so they are highly compressible. We can compress them. And gases exert pressure equally in all directions. Why they exert pressure equally in all directions? Because of kinetic energy. And what will happen when we keep in a vessel? What will happen? They collide each other, and in colliding at the time of colliding, they collide with the wall of the container also, and they exert, in this way they exert the pressure. Gases have much lower density than the solid and liquids. They have less dense, because as we know that density is equal to mass over volume. So they are very less, we can say density is very less of gases. So and as class 3rd student also know this topic, the volume and the shape of gases are not fixed. Gases mix evenly and completely in all proportion, and you all know that the process which is called mixing of the gases in complete in all proportion, that is called diffusion. Due to diffusion it mixes and without any mechanical act. So these are the characteristics. Now the measurable property, as we are going to the this important chapter, we should know the units as well as the properties to measure, because so many numerical problems are there in this chapter. So we should learn what is mass, what is volume, what is pressure, and what are the units we are using, we can use to measure them. So first of all, what is mass? So mass, you all know that how can we express this? It is expressed in gram or kg, and volume, it is equal to the volume of the container and is expressed in terms of liter, milliliter, cubic centimeter, cubic meter or cubic decimeter. And we should know the conversion also, that 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliter, or it is equal to 1000 cubic centimeter or 1 cubic decimeter. Just like that, 1 meter cube is equal to 10 to the power 3 decimeter cube, 10 to the power 6 centimeter cube, and in liter also. So you learn them and note down them, because so many problems, so many related numerical problems related to them will come in, definitely will come in this chapter. Pressure. Gas pressure is measured with manometer and atmospheric pressure is measured by barometer. You should know this, that the pressure of the gas is measured always with manometer, as well as atmospheric pressure, if we talk about, it is measured by barometer. 1 atmosphere is equal to 76 em of Hg. We are talking about that mercury, and 760 millimeter of mercury and 760 torr, we can say. 1 atmosphere also is equal to 101.325 K pi is for Pascal, and if we talk about Pascal only, so 101.325 Pascal, or is equal to 101.325 Newton per meter square, or equal to 1.01325 bar. So we should know the conversion, how the atmosphere will convert into Pascal, or Pascal will convert into Newton per meter square. These all are the units of pressure only. So 1 bar is equal to 10 to the power 5 Pascal, and these are the units, like bar is the unit of pressure as well as Pascal is the unit of pressure. So measurement of pressure of gas, if we talk about open end manometer, is it equal to pressure of gas is equal to pressure of atom, or minus H, where H is the difference in the mercury level in the two columns of density. Means we are talking about density of a gas. Close end manometer P gas is equal to H. So in this way we can measure the different quantities, different characteristics of the gas. Now Boyle, you can see the picture of scientist Boyle. The full name is, we can say, Anglo-Irish chemist Robert Boyle, and you know, he gave the Boyle's law, he put forward in 1662. As he was a scientist, he gave the first about that how the experiment will occur in the lab. So we call them as the father of modern chemistry. So Boyle's law is a gas law which states that the pressure exerted by a gas, we can say, of a given mass, if kept at a constant temperature. These two are very important points. Pressure exerted by a gas means fixed mass, and temperature is also fixed, is inversely proportional to the volume occupied by it. In other words, the pressure and volume of a gas are inversely proportional to each other. As long as the temperature and quantity of gas are kept constant, as we have discussed in first line. So Boyle's law he put forward and called as father of modern chemistry. According to Boyle's law, for a gas relationship between volume and pressure, we can say constant mass and constant temperature, can be expressed mathematically as follows. P, the sign of inversely proportional 1 by V, where P is the pressure exerted by the gas and V is the volume occupied by it. This proportionality can be converted into an equation by adding a constant k. K is the constant here, and we can write PV is equal to K. You can see the figure that there is a cylinder and piston over there pulling up, increasing. If we decrease the pressure, what will happen in this? That volume will increase, and pushing down decreases the volume and increases the pressure. So they both are inversely proportional. Now some graphs are there, and very important graph, and in questions, or we can say in exam, whether in competition one, competitive one, as well as in school exam, the graph will come in the form of like this only, and you have to recognize that this graph is showing this one. So you can see the curve. This curve corresponding to different constant temperature, which is called as isotherm. Higher curves corresponded to higher temperature, and this graph is for that pressure versus volume, and volume of a gas at different temperature. Now again the different graph, pressure versus 1 by V, we can say. The graph represents a straight line passing through but under high pressure gases deviate from Boyle's law, if it is very high pressure, and consequently there is no straight line in the graph. This signifies that gases become denser at high pressure. Okay, they come closer and the density becomes high. So density is defined as the ratio of mass by volume. As we discussed earlier in classes 9th, 8th also, density is equal to mass over volume. Using the value of V from Boyle's law equation, volume of D can be further modified. So two graphs are there, graph of P against V, it is a hyperbola, and straight line graph of P against 1 by V. So Boyle's law, again I am explaining it, that it can be observed that a straight line is obtained when the pressure is exerted by the gas is taken on the y-axis. You can see in the last one, y-axis, and the inverse of the volume occupied the gas 1 by V is taken on the x-axis. This law can be expressed mathematically as follow: P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2, where P1 is the initial pressure exerted by the gas, V1 is the initial volume occupied by the gas, P2 is the final pressure exerted by the gas, and V2 is the final volume occupied by the gas. This expression can be obtained from the pressure-volume relationship suggested by Boyle's law. For a fixed amount of a gas kept at a constant temperature, we all know PV is equal to K. Therefore, P1 V1 is equal to K. Initial pressure, initial volume. Final pressure, final volume, means we can multiply them. P2 V2 is equal to K. So the equation is P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. This equation can be used to predict the increase in pressure exerted by a gas on the wall of the container when the volume of its container is decreased and its quantity and absolute temperature remain unchanged. Please note down this, that its quantity, we are talking about the mass as well as temperature, remain unchanged, they are constant. So if have the values, different values, and the graph, you can see that in the experiment you note down the pressure in K Pascal. So 200, 180, 140, 100, 85, 70, 60, like this only, or in increasing way 60, 70, 85. And volume, again you have noted down the value. So we find the curve, and if the again if we take volume versus 1 by P or P versus 1 by V, we got the straight line. We'll get the straight line. So isotherm graphs of V versus P or PV versus P at constant temperature known as isotherms, and we can see this, that if we take PV at fixed temperature, what will happen? We got the straight line for that. Example we can give the Boyle's law. If some the questions will come in the form of example, that give one example of Boyle's law. You can give the daily life example that when a balloon, when a filled balloon is squeezed, the volume occupied by the air inside the balloon decreases. This is accompanied by the increase in the pressure exerted by the air on volume. As a consequence of Boyle's law, as the balloon is squeezed further, the increasing pressure eventually pops it. It will create a sound. An illustration describes the increase in pressure that accompanies a decrease in the volume of a gas is provided below. And you can give the other example also, smaller volume. If we increase the pressure, molecules hit the volumes more often, greater pressure. One numerical problem I just collected for you, that go through it, this formula, you use this formula, you do the NCERT questions for that, and for that I have selected two problems for you. That one is that a fixed amount of a gas occupies a volume of 1 liter and exert a pressure of 400 kPa on the walls of its container. What would be the pressure exerted by the gas if it is completely transferred into a new container having a volume of 3 liter? Now, according to the question, you should know that V1 is equal to 1L and V2 is equal to 3L. And if the V1 is 1L and it exerts a pressure of 400, it means P1 is given. So you have to find out the P2. So according to we can apply the formula directly, P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2, and very easily we can find P2 is equal to P1 V1 upon V2, and we can find the value of P2. So therefore the gas exerts a pressure of 133.33 kPa on the walls of the 3 liter container. I think you all can do. You can apply this formula. Please bache, go through NCERT questions which are related to Boyle's law. Okay. One more. So I have one more problem, one more numerical problem for you, and by this I want to explain that how can we use this formula. And please bache, go through NCERT questions. Please practice them. Very easy to solve them, and you know, practice makes a man perfect. So you can apply this formula, and in this slide I'll only take the Boyle's law. Because of that only and two examples for you. Please, if you can solve it, you try it and you can do it. I know that now the question is there, what will be the minimum pressure required to compress 500 decimeter cube of air at 1 bar to 200 at 30 degree. Now you easily you can find out that what is V1, what is P1, what is V2, and we have to find out P2. Students, in some question what will happen, there is the you have to change the units of particular. Means one unit is the volume is another one, suppose in liter, and you have to convert in decimeter, centimeter cube, or whatever it is. But in this question you don't want, there is no need to change. You have to apply the same one, and you can find out the P2, 2.5 bar. So therefore the minimum pressure required is 2.5 bar, and I think you all have I have explained the things. I know that you are utilizing your time, and I think you all can easily learn from this video, and please revise them and do it at home. Thank you, bache.